Hi, everyone. Welcome to Our Disabled Future, a series where disabled voices lead the way. I'm your host, Nico, and it is a good day for disability inclusion. Each day, for Disability Pride Month and beyond, I'm amplifying real disabled stories, where we are, where we want to go, and how the heck we're going to get there. Together, hopefully. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by Kelly. Let's dive in. Hi, Kelly. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I am well, thank you, and thank you for joining. So,
My
Kelly,
pleasure.
tell us about yourself and your disabled life.
Sure. So I was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis at the age of 2. I just turned 45 the other day. So I've been living with a disability for most of my life. And I use a motorized wheelchair, which can't really see with the blurred background, but I'm sitting in that now. I use that most of the day. All the arthritis affects most of my joints. So when I'm not using this, I might switch to a walker. I also sometimes use a manual chair if somebody is taking me somewhere. But I rely on a personal care assistant every morning. And sometimes at other points throughout the day, they may have to come in. I need help with a lot of activities of daily living, dressing, grooming, cooking. And but once that's set in the morning, I'm usually pretty good to go. I do go to work. I should back up and say I live in my own home. And I try to live a productive life. Aside from working full time, I also work some freelance jobs. I volunteer for a few disability related groups, the Hamilton Township Special Needs Commission. I am a member of, and also I'm a member of the board of Project Freedom, which has barrier-free communities. They're beautiful apartments throughout much of New Jersey. So that's, I guess, it in a nutshell. Oh, I do drive. I have a vehicle with a ramp. I just got a new one last summer. It's an SUV, so I'm excited. It's my first SUV. As some of you may know, often the only option, well, for many years was a van. So I'm excited to have a new choice. And, that's my life in a nutshell.
That's remarkable, Kelly. Thank you. You do a great job of explaining it. It was very
Yeah.
comprehensive.
Oh, thank
So, you've laid out what you need from your personal care attendants and how you go about your daily life. What
you.
does a disability friendly future look like for you?
I think some of my biggest frustrations are the businesses that I encounter out in public, mostly restaurants that still are not accessible to me, and others with uh, mainly mobility disabilities, because they have steps and whatnot. Or even the other day, I went somewhere for work purposes and the bathroom was not very accessible. So someone there had to help me. They even had to hold the door shut. So these are things that I'd love to see changed. I'm surprised with the rules and regulations out there that it's still not happened. Um, I understand some try to say they're grandfathered in, but many places like the one I was at this weekend, there's no reason that that shouldn't have been addressed by now. So I did say something again, but I would just love to see more accessibility, following the whole community approach, because making a place accessible with a ramp, let's say, in turn helps parents who have a child in a stroller, anyone really. And so sometimes these changes aren't too expensive. Sometimes I know they can be, but any little bit helps, I believe. So that's one thing I'm hoping improves, and that in turn also, allows people with disabilities to enjoy life, and some say spend the money that they have and put back into the economy.
That is a huge asset of disability inclusion. You're right. Thank you so much. So, we talk about better physical access at business establishments and out in public.
Mhm.
And we talk about other aspects of that disability-friendly future. What strategies do you think we can use? How can we make that future we just talked about a reality?
Well, for one, have joined the township's Special Needs Commission to help push those efforts forward. And others, if they don't have such a commission, could reach out to their local politicians, or even some townships have a business organization or something like that that encourages business development that may in turn also promote accessibility and inclusion. Another thing um, that I wanted to mention that kind of goes hand in hand with this is uh, acceptance and taking maybe the disability awareness and sensitivity training. You know, our local centers for independent living offer that. I've given that training to businesses and others. But I went to a restaurant a couple weeks ago in another state, and they were only talking to my companion, the wait staff, and I found that to be the case in the town in general. I, as a person who used a wheelchair, as a disability, was often ignored or treated differently, and they continue to talk to my companion. It was also extremely inaccessible. So I'd love to see more people learn person first language or just disability awareness and sensitivity approaches.
That's awesome. Thank you. I think we can all agree and push for greater accessibility in the future. I'm sorry that you've encountered those barriers in your professional life.
Yeah, it's you know, sometimes I try to make those instances a learning experience, but then there's sometimes I'm a little caught off guard or it bothers me. So I do hope things get better in that regard.
Absolutely. It can always take more energy and time from us when we have to constantly advocate for our needs. So I
Hmm.
see you in that.
Yeah.
All right, Kelly. I've had a great time speaking with you. You're very concise. You know what you want to say. This last question is just free space for you to brag about yourself, talk about something cool you've done recently, or maybe have in the works. If you want to build like an online following, you're an influencer, where
Mhm.
can people find you online? But this is your chance to be your own cheerleader, to hype yourself up. Let's hear it.
Awesome. Well, there are a few things I've accomplished over the years that I'm especially proud of. And one was writing a book called Juvenile Arthritis, The Ultimate Teen Guide. And that was published by Rowman and Littlefield Scarecrow Press. And so that's available on Amazon. And it's really a comprehensive look at what juvenile arthritis is. There are first person accounts. It talks about everything from treatment to exercise to advocacy. And the other thing I love is modeling, uh, a little bit of acting, but I modeled during New York Fashion Week several times, and that was such a highlight for me. That was a lot of fun, very different for what I do. I work in emergency management every day, and I help with planning and response for people with disabilities and other folks who are vulnerable. And so this was totally different from what I normally do, and just a lot of fun. And I would love to do more of that. So I'll promote myself that way.
That's a great work that you do. Thank you. So many emergency response plans don't include disabled people right at the outset. So I'm thankful that you're there to urge inclusion in that regard.
It's very important, and we've come a long way, but there's more to be done for sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. This is Our Disabled Future, and it's being built by all of us together. Thanks for watching, and remember, our future is accessible, inclusive, and unstoppable. I'm Nico, and wherever you go, whatever you do, I can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you.